All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Nigerian music scene,
Okay.
and specifically Portable and his drama with the police.
Yeah.
And we'll be getting this information from the Street Vibes with Jay and Tolu podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested in hearing more, you can check that out.
Great source.
Yeah, so Portable is the Zazu's hit maker, right?
Yeah, Zazu Crooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people who aren't, super familiar with the Nigerian music scene, can you kind of break down, like, what is the significance of him being the Zazu crooner and, and this whole street cred element?
Yeah. Well, you probably know that he calls himself the Ika of Africa,
Right.
which kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
But just to explain that a little bit more to our listeners, Ika basically means, he's all about that streetwise energy. Like, he's rebellious.
Okay.
And he's really trying to, clash with the authorities and, stand up to the man.
Okay, so in the Nigerian music scene,
Mm.
what is the significance of street cred?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's more than just an image there.
Yeah.
Like, it's a form of social capital.
Interesting.
So, it shows that you're connected to the everyday struggles of people,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you like this authenticity that resonates with fans.
So it's like you gotta walk the walk if you're gonna talk the talk.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially for artists like Portable, who come from like marginalized communities,
Yeah.
they're really coming from nothing.
Yeah.
So this street credibility becomes like a badge of honor.
Okay.
It's a way of saying like, I made it despite the odds.
I see.
Yep.
I see.
Yeah.
So how does this relate to his recent drama with the police?
Okay, so remember Zazu's his hit song?
Yes.
I mean, the energy of that song, the slang, the whole vibe,
Uh-huh.
it's very much rooted in the streets, right?
Yeah.
And that's what made him famous.
Okay.
But it seems like that same persona is landing him in some hot water.
Okay, so what happened? Like, what went down?
Yeah, so from what we've gathered from our source, the Street Vibes podcast,
Mm-hmm.
reports say Portable and his crew got into it with someone.
Okay.
Like, it sounds like an altercation that got violent.
Okay, so it was physical.
Yeah, and now the police are after him.
Oh, wow.
They want to question him.
Okay, and what did Portable do?
He didn't exactly cooperate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, instead of, laying low or anything, he's gone like full Ika on social media. Like, he's posting videos boasting about his success and basically saying the police can't touch him.
He's like, come at me.
Pretty much, yeah. And he's doing it in this really confrontational way,
Yeah.
which I think is surprising people.
Even his fans.
Yeah, I mean, even Street Vibes played a clip of one of these videos.
Oh, wow.
And he is like, they said vexing.
Okay, hold on, wait, vexing.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
It's like a super heightened state of anger, like
Okay.
frustration, almost indignation. But he's using it to like project this image of power.
Oh.
Like, I'm untouchable.
So he's playing the street king card even when dealing with the law.
It seems that way. Yeah.
Interesting.
But Street Vibes said, even kings got to answer to the law. Like,
Right.
nobody's above the rules of society.
Yeah, you can't just shout out, don't you know who I am, and expect to get away with it.
Exactly.
But I feel like maybe in Portable's world, those lines are a bit blurred.
Yeah. I mean, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
Can street cred really shield you from the real world consequences?
It's especially when you're dealing with the police.
Exactly.
This isn't just like some online beef.
Yeah.
This is like a serious legal situation.
Definitely. And this also isn't his first time, stirring up controversy.
Right.
Remember that whole thing with him and the gang?
Oh, yeah, 1 million boys or something like that?
Yeah, 1 million boys.
What happened with that?
Well, he claimed to have started it,
Oh.
but then he kind of like backtracked and denied it.
Oh, okay.
But it still, adds to his image of being this like,
This rebel.
yeah, this rebel who, lives outside the norms
Okay.
and isn't afraid of danger.
So do you think this whole like street king act is working for him or is it backfiring?
Well, on the one hand, I think it definitely resonates with his fan base,
Okay.
who see him as this like symbol of resistance.
Right. Like he's like almost like a hero.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I mean, that must be alienating to a lot of people too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like anyone who believes in, law and order,
Mm.
and it just kind of like feeds into negative stereotypes,
Right.
and it just makes the whole divide even bigger.
Yeah. And I mean, this isn't just like a PR problem.
Right.
He has an arrest warrant out.
Exactly.
Like he could actually go to jail.
That's what Jay and Tolu are worried about. Like
Yeah.
they think his career is at stake.
So what do they say about it?
Basically, they're telling him to like chill out
Okay.
and cooperate with the police, you know?
Okay.
Like, think about the big picture.
They're like, we get it. You're the street king, but even kings need lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this isn't some street fight.
Yeah.
This is the legal system.
Right.
And it doesn't care about your street cred.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, he has to be accountable for his actions.
Right,
The
exactly.
street cred can't protect him from that.
No, definitely not. And it's like, he's almost trapped by this persona now.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it's become bigger than him.
Yeah.
And this is where social media gets interesting.
Oh, how so?
Well, I mean, think about it. Social media was what, like, boosted this whole persona of his.
Yeah.
And, like, made him famous.
Right.
But now it could be what takes him down.
Interesting.
It's this, like, double-edged sword.
Yeah. It's like a lot of artists struggle with that, right?
Totally.
Like, how do you stay true to who you are?
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're building a career on being authentic and being real.
Right.
Like, how do you do that and still deal with the demands of fame and the law?
Right. Like, where do you draw the line?
Exactly.
It's a tough balance. Yeah. And I mean, it's not unique to Nigerian music or anything.
No, you see it everywhere. Like hip-hop rock.
Yeah.
Like across all genres and cultures, really.
Like, even think about Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah. Good example.
He built his whole empire on street cred,
Mm-hmm.
but he also learned how to play the corporate game.
Exactly.
He became a businessman,
Yeah.
philanthropist.
Yeah, he like evolved.
Yeah.
But he didn't lose that authenticity.
Right. He kept his roots.
Yeah, but he understood the importance of branching out,
Yeah.
thinking long term.
So is that what Portable needs to do?
It sounds like that's what Jay and Tolu think.
Okay, what do they say?
Basically that he needs to grow up,
Okay.
like mature as an artist and as a person.
I see.
They even joked that he needs to move on from Zazuze.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like create music that shows some depth.
Wait, so they're saying Zazuze was a fluke?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was like a cultural moment.
Right.
But artists can't just stay in the same lane forever. They
Yeah.
need to like evolve, experiment.
Yeah, push the boundary.
Exactly. And that takes like a level of maturity.
It sounds like they're rooting for him.
Yeah, they definitely see his potential,
Yeah.
but they're worried he's going to like throw it all away.
So will he listen to their advice?
Hard to say. Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
But this whole incident has definitely started a conversation about the limits of street cred and the power of social media
Right.
and the responsibility that comes with fame.
And it's a conversation I think a lot of young artists need to be having,
Yeah.
especially, those from like marginalized communities,
Mm.
because it's easy to get caught up in the hype,
Yeah, for sure.
in the image.
Right.
And forget there are like real consequences to your actions.
Absolutely. And I think it goes beyond just artists.
Really?
Yeah, like I think Portable's situation like raises questions for all of us
Like what?
about how we balance authenticity and responsibility,
Hmm.
especially, in this world that's so obsessed with social media.
Right? Like we're constantly seeing people living these perfect lives online.
Yeah, it's all like curated.
Yeah. And it makes you feel like you have to project a certain image, even if it's not really you.
Right. And social media can be so good,
Yeah.
but also so bad.
In what way?
Like it can be amazing for connection,
Uh-huh.
but it can also be like a breeding ground for negativity.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get sucked into the drama.
Totally. Like
Yeah.
you lose sight of what's important.
It's like we're all living these double lives
Yeah.
with these online personas.
Mm-hmm.
That might not even be real.
It's exhausting.
It really is.
And it can be harmful too.
Yeah. How we
Like when you start putting the image above everything else,
Uh-huh.
you lose your values,
Right.
your integrity.
So how do we like find that balance?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's an easy answer,
Yeah.
but I think it starts with like being self-aware,
Okay.
like being honest with yourself,
About
who you are, what you believe in,
and what you're willing to compromise.
and maybe like not taking everything we see online so seriously.
Totally. Yeah, like having a healthy dose of skepticism,
Right.
questioning the narratives that are out there,
Yeah.
and like being aware of how our own online behavior affects others.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, into Portable and the Nigerian music scene,
Yeah.
what's the big question we should be asking ourselves?
I think it's, can you be authentic and successful without like losing your values?
Right.
Can you be a rebel and a role model?
It's a tough one.
It is, but I think it's worth thinking about.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
success isn't just about fame and money.
No.
It's about like living a life that you're proud of
Exactly.
and,
Yeah.
like making a positive impact. And I think that's the lesson we can take from Portable.
Yeah.
Even with all the drama and chaos,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a chance to grow.
Definitely.
to reflect and to, like, make better choices.
You can always change course.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive. Of course.